Okay. I'm not a huge TV viewer. Like, there's a few, I'm very picky. You know, I like 24, and I like The Closer, and I have a few that I'll kind of pay attention to a little bit. But this show, I set my, like, I'm there, 9 o'clock, after American Idol, I am all over this Lie to Me show because it's just such a great concept. And isn't this whole thing based on a guy who's a real guy?
Yeah. The research is based on the research of a guy named Paul Ekman. And he's been studying this stuff for 40 years. So, I mean, he is as good as it gets as being able to spot this stuff.
Right.
And that's probably around how long it takes to actually get to the level where you can spot these micro expressions, you know, because they happen in a fraction of a second. They happen so quickly. And unless you know exactly what you're looking for, and unless you sort of have trained yourself, it's almost impossible to see it without slowing down a tape or something like that.
And what, in case somebody has not seen the show before, the main character, Dr. Cal Lightman, has this business, like a company, and they basically get to the bottom of if someone's telling the truth or not, and it's through body movements, facial expressions.
Right.
And you play Eli on the show, and you're into kind of this radical honesty thing, which is basically telling people exactly what you think all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Have you
Whether
tried
they want to
that
hear it or not.
in real life?
Yeah, I did it. I did it for about a week before we started shooting the show, and it was it's very enlightening because you realize that
how much you lie.
How much you lie, and not even that. It's just like to be able to think to think something and then just say it immediately, whether, you know, irregardless of how people are going to feel about it, and whether or not they even asked for your opinion. That's what it really has a lot to do with. It's just like honest opinions at all times, and people really aren't interested in that unadulterated honesty for the most part. I know I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so to do that for a week, just to feel what it was like, you know, it's a very alienating thing to do because people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear that you think that their friend's house smells bad, or that you know, or that, you know, you didn't call them back because you know you didn't feel like hearing them talk for 15 minutes or something like that.
And we're not used to it. We're just not. I have a friend that did this in real life because he felt it was really an honest way to live, and he found that it puts a lot of responsibility on other people. Like, if he was having a hard time because he just thought this woman was really hot or something, he'd tell her, and then all of a sudden she's thinking, oh, that creep. You know, like, it changed how she would respond to him because people don't know what to do with it.
It's instant awkwardness.
Yeah.
It creates instant awkwardness in people because exactly what you said, they don't know how to process it. They're not used to it. We're so used to telling the lies, the social lies and the lies of convenience, that the people, it's normal, you know, and they're there for good reason too. Those social barriers, they're there for good reason.
They're there to make you comfortable. They're there to all those things.
Yeah, you don't need that confrontational life for the most part.
One of the things I really like on the show is that they use real life up-to-date people. Like, you know, it's very current. You'll see they'll be comparing different facial expressions, and they'll throw President Obama up there, or it's terrific. You know, it really makes you feel like it's happening right now, which is great. Yeah,
no one can escape the humanness of it. You know, you can't escape the fact that that when you curl one side of your lip, you know, you're showing contempt for whoever it is you're talking about or talking to. You know.
So do you find that when you're talking to people now, because of the show and because of what you've tried with people, that you're hyper aware of what they're doing with their face? And
I try not to be, because again, I don't want to call people out on it all the time, especially if I'm wrong, because I'm no expert. I just play one on TV. Oh, I've always wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I'm still in awe.
But I have come to realize that I need to control my own facial micro expressions, because when I'm talking to people now, I'm all paranoid that they're looking at me to spot me as a liar and to call me out on stuff. So I've just taken to neutralizing my face and just trying to make it as bland as possible.
I've taken to neutralizing my face. I love that. Yeah. It's one of the things I hate about, like, email or any kind of that type of communication, and we all do it all the time, but is that you don't have any of the body language to go along with it, so it's easy to misunderstand someone's tone or someone's. So I'm all about being there in person. I think that's great.
Well, there's no it's hard to convey you know, sarcasm or humor through texting and through emails. And so it's specifically because you're so used to like getting a lot of information, non-verbally. You're used to getting a lot of information
Right.
from just the interaction,
Right.
from just looking at someone, you know, and
Yeah.
seeing everything, unconsciously processing all that stuff. So, not to get too scientifically nerdy, but that's what's
Yeah, please don't get
fascinating
nerdy.
about
Not on
the
this show.
No.
So, is this